Be me, girl in middle school, classic quiet kid, hair always in a messy braid, glasses that slid down my nose every 5 seconds, backpack heavier than my self-esteem, read during lunch, recess, group work, basically any time human interaction was optional. Social anxiety wasn't just a feeling, it was a full-time job. Then there was Ryan, loud, always surrounded by friends, like he had a spotlight following him. He wasn't mean, not exactly, but he was relentless. Called me library mouse. Once said I looked like I got dressed in the dark. I did. Made fun of how I raised my hand too straight in class. Every time I heard his voice behind me in the hallway, I tensed. Smiles were knives, laughter was crossfire. I never cried in front of him, but I cried enough in the bathroom stalls. Dreamt of the last day of senior year like it was the end of a prison sentence. Fast forward to high school, we ended up on totally different tracks. He did sports, theater, had girlfriends. I joined the yearbook team and got really into graphic design. We barely crossed paths. I thought maybe he'd grown out of it. But senior prom, I saw him across the gym. Expected him to smirk, maybe say something dumb. But he just glanced at me, then looked away. Weirdly blank expression. I stood by the punch bowl for 10 minutes trying to figure out why that felt worse than all the teasing. Never spoke that night. Graduated, moved cities for college, studied design, finally felt like myself, learned to love my own brain. Still socially awkward, but in a way I owned. Built a little world for myself. Fast forward to 24, working at a small design firm. Weird clients, fun coworkers, amazing snack cabinet, start hearing talk about a new hire. Tech background, good with logistics, easygoing dude. Get the intro email. Ryan J. Pause. Nah, can't be. Click the profile. Picture loads. Yep, same sharp jaw, just more defined. Same eyes, but now behind grown-up glasses. Heart rate spikes like I just got called on in class. First day. He walks in with a laptop bag and that same loose confidence. Sees me, does a little double take. Says, wow, didn't expect this reunion. No smirk, no teasing. Just a regular adult greeting another adult. I nod, swallow every memory trying to claw its way up. A few days later, he asks if we can step outside. Terrified he's going to say something dumb again. Instead, he looks serious. Says, I remember school. I remember how I treated you. And I'm sorry. Like, not a haha sorry you were sensitive. Like, a full body sigh kind of sorry. Says he thought he was being funny, trying to get attention. Didn't realize how much it might have actually hurt. Says he spent a long time thinking about how he acted back then. I just kind of stare at him, blinking too much. Mumble, it's okay, even though I'm not sure if it is. But something cracks open. Weeks pass. He's nice? Brings extra coffee from the break room. Asks thoughtful questions during meetings. Remembers my favorite pen brand somehow. Compliments my ideas without stealing them. I start laughing when he makes jokes, because now they're actually funny, and never at my expense. 2 months in, he asks if I want to grab lunch. Just lunch, no pressure. I say yes before my anxiety catches up. We sit in the sun behind the office. He tells me about his college years, how he got into back-end dev stuff, how he started therapy after college and realized how dumb he'd been. I tell him about the books I used to hide in my locker. He remembers some of them. Says he always wondered what I was reading. Says he was kind of jealous of how into things I was. I tell him I was jealous of how easy everything looked for him. We laugh. It's weird and nice. 3 months later, we're officially dating. Soft launch on Instagram. Our coworkers say, finally. He learns how to make tea exactly the way I like it. I learn that he listens to 2000s emo when he's stressed. We work quietly together on Friday nights. Sometimes we order takeout and pretend we're way more adult than we actually are. 2 years later, he proposes under a string of fairy lights on our apartment balcony. Says, you were always the girl I remembered. I just wish I'd had the courage to know you sooner. I ugly cry. We get married in a small garden ceremony. No DJ, just a playlist we made together. He cries during vows. My mom nearly faints. A year later, we have a daughter. Tiny, warm, all eyes and clenched fists. He calls her our second chance. Sings her lullabies off-key until she falls asleep. Wakes up at 3 a.m. to feed her without me even asking. One night I ask him, why me? Back then, why were you always bothering me? He gets quiet, rubs the back of his neck like he's back in seventh grade. I roll my eyes, but I'm smiling. He kisses my forehead. Our daughter makes a noise in her sleep like a tiny dinosaur. He goes to check on her without a word. Sometimes I watch him holding her, so gentle, so careful, like she's something sacred. And I wonder how the boy who once made me dread school became the man who makes me feel like home. And I think, what the hell was that back in school? Why did he torment me like that for years?